Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Hello. How you doing? What's going on? My name's Sonia Javette. I am your hostess today, and my special guest is going to be Miss Sierra. Let me read her bio real quick. As I do that, I'm going to bring her up on the stage here real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, Sierra. I'm having so much fun learning with that. That's so much fun. Let me pull up your bio, my friend. How you doing?
Doing pretty great. I'm excited that it's Friday.
Is it Friday? I don't know anymore because it feels like it's been Friday for, 18, 19 months.
I have not felt like it was Friday for 18 months. I felt like it was Tuesday. Like it's not quite as like as Monday, but Tuesday you're like, can we not?
Do we have to again?
Yeah.
Sierra is one of the most interesting people that I have automatically had wonderful conversation with. So I'm enjoying being able to talk to you today. How's it going in your world? Sorry.
Well, not including, things I have no control over at a legislative level. Things in my world are fine.
Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, we can ignore that for today. Things are pretty great. I'm enjoying my life and trying to figure out how to navigate the world as it changes and moves. And I think I'm doing okay at it. So I feel good about that at least.
Well, you look like you're doing good. I am going to ask the random questions because I don't see what I'm looking for. Because that's because I'm special. No, don't get me started on the political start because. Yeah. Do you see me, world? Do you see my brain? Do you see this just going? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's ask my favorite question to start off with. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
I feel like I would want to have the ability to fly, just because that sounds awesome, Superman, Wonder Woman style. I feel like based upon how I actually am, my superpower would be mind reading. I have a very in tune ability to understand what people are thinking and doing with their life. So I think it'd be cooler to learn how to fly, but I feel like it wouldn't be that big of a leap for me to be like, yeah, mind reading, cool.
All right. Flying seems to be popular with my last few guests. Maybe somewhere in your lifetime you'll think about taking lessons, become a pilot.
I did grow up on an airport. I do know how to fly an airplane, but being able to just fly my body, that would be
then you need a special suit. Yes. I would think
it would depend on the altitude, or your ability to cold, because it gets colder as you go up, but then at a certain point you actually start to lose the ability to pump blood through your body because there's not enough pressure in the atmosphere. So you need it's called a G suit, but it's literally a gravitational force suit, and it keeps all your blood going up to your brain. And then you also need to stay warm. So for real world mechanics, you would need to wear something because you would die after
What color would your suit be?
I want to say purple, but I want an ABBA purple jumpsuit, with the bell bottoms and the bell sleeve. I want, and the V, I would want the full ABBA treatment if I'm going to have a suit.
Did you see something about ABBA recently? But anyway, a full ABBA suit, but what color? Purple. The dark eggplant purple, or a periwinkle purple, or?
I would say a middle purple, not as light as what's on my shirt, maybe a little bit darker than your shirt.
Okay.
Because I feel too dark, and I would be it would just look like black or blue, which is fine, but it's not purple,
Yeah, because you have to hold an eggplant in the right direction for it to get that pretty purple. It's true. Miss Sierra, do you have any hobbies outside of music?
Mostly reading. I'm sure you can see some of them in the shot.
Your library is beautiful.
Thank you. Yes, I do. I'm a big reader. I also am. I really enjoy swimming, and like not just like Michael Phelps arms over your head swimming, but just like being in the water is like my favorite thing to do. And I also like, I know everybody has to eat, but I like love eating. Like if I've never eaten it before, I want to eat it. Like I feel like it's a hobby in and of itself to be like, what have I not eaten? Let me go eat that thing. It's like nice that I have to do it. Like I have to eat for sustenance. And I'm like, let's make it fun.
That's awesome. So when you start traveling, that can be part of your motif is to travel to spots that you've never been to go eat the strange new food that's out there.
That's literally exactly how I travel. I'm like, have I not been there? Have I not eaten that thing?
Cool.
Let's go. Click.
So just for you, I'm going to add this question to this list. What's the strangest foods that you've eaten so far?
The one that sticks out of my head the most is I think, and I don't know this for a fact, but I have no other like recourse. I think I have eaten cat before.
Like meow meow?
Yes, like yeah.
Okay.
I was in China in 2008. I was watching the Olympics, and we went to this restaurant where like I don't speak Mandarin, and neither did my aunt, and the menu was like just in Mandarin, as you do, right? Like it makes sense. So we had no idea what we were ordering, and we just like pointed, and they were like, "Okay, we'll bring you that thing out." We had like no idea what they were going to bring us. And one of the dishes had this like, it was a really beautiful like plate of cabbage and peanut slaw, which is so good, like so delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And normally those were served with like fried duck on top or like other fried meats. But this was served with a like fried rib cage that was just like the wrong size to be a pig. It wasn't a chicken. It was like very obviously not a bird. So I ate some mammal-looking rib cage that was about this long. So I feel like it was a cat, just because like it's not uncommon to eat like other animals there. Like they don't have like a hang up about it.
Right.
That's probably like off the top of my head, like what? And then I've also had fried cricket, which is actually like not like it's weird just because it's a bug, but like also it's not like doesn't taste weird.
Covered with chocolate?
No, it was just like fried.
Oh, okay.
So it was just like very crispy. It was like eating like pork rinds. Like there's that crunchy thing that it's not really anything. It's just like fried air. That's kind of like what it tastes like. It's not. Yeah.
Well, my family's my mother is from the country, so if it's from the root to the toot, we probably ate it as a kid growing up. So I'm all about trying different foods. At least, as my father says, if you don't like it the first time, try it again the second time, because first time it might not have been prepared right, or they might have left off the salt, or the I don't know, something simple, something. But you should not try things. I think I love that. Thank you. I have now added that to my musicians' questions. And have you? Is your family musical? Did you grow up in a music family?
In a sense, my grandma like immigrated to the States from Ireland, and she like won a radio contest as a very young woman with her sister. So like she's a fantastic singer. But she like never was a professional musician. And so the closest that I have as far as like professional musicianship in my family is I have an aunt who's also a minister, and she like does ministry with music. So that's probably the closest. Everyone in my family like enjoys singing. We all love listening to music. We love going to concerts. Most of us have a pretty decent sense of rhythm. At least just like the shoulder thing, I'm talking about like the dad shoulder. I don't know. Yeah, no, just like my dad at weddings was like Mr. Shoulder Man. I don't know. That might be why people think it's possible.
Comedy should be part of your next package. Continue, please. That's good.
But yeah, so like, musical in the sense that we all enjoy music. We all like enjoy musical theater, all that stuff. But like nobody in my family is a professional musician other than my one aunt.
She put a seed in your brain for music, yes?
Possibly. Yes. Well, and so did my grandma. Like my grandma, like is just always singing, always dancing, very much like enjoys the storytelling elements of music too. So music was like a constant presence in our house. It just wasn't like anybody getting paid to do it.
I love that answer. Mine was playing music in my room, I think. I think I had like, I don't know, good 50 records, playing it on a turntable and an 8-track. Yes, I'm that old. An 8-track cassette thingy, going like this. Oh, the tape again. Wind it, wind it. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was and church. Grew up in the church, so music been with me since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Did you is the vocals your first instrument, or the guitar, or what's your first instrument?
Definitely voice. I didn't start having like lessons in voice until I was in middle school, but definitely have always been a singer, have always loved singing. And we always, like, my family would have a Christmas party every year, and part of it was like me getting up and doing all the caroling, that kind of thing.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
oh,
My parents really had like a built-in cute mechanism. They were like, oh, we have a daughter who like actually can sing pretty well, who's also like, white blonde little kid just like running around being like, I want to sing Christmas songs. So if
come
they were
and
to
watch.
put on a show, yeah.
Look what
But
we've got.
yeah, exactly. They're like, we didn't have to hire entertainment. They did. They hired a band, but they were always like, Sierra, during the band's break, go live your life. So yeah,
Nice.
it's a good time. And then
Do
I
you
learned
have
to
any
play
pet?
the guitar as I got older. And then recently I started like taking piano lessons because I realized that as much as I can play the guitar, I actually enjoy the piano more. Like, this is a much easier way to accompany myself, but I find playing the piano and singing to be much more like my whole body is like, yes. So it's kind of a weird, like, I'm trying to get good enough at the piano to do shows with it, because currently, like, I am not. Started learning as an adult. I'm like, whew, that'll check your ego real quick. Because being like, oh, the 4-year-old that went before me can play like everything by Mozart by
Yeah.
rote memorization, and I'm sitting here being like, okay, this is a C chord, yeah, and then we go to an A, yeah, yeah.
I feel like we're on the same path right now, because I also have started attempting to learn. No, I am learning to play the piano and write with the piano. I got myself a little Elisa's keyboard. It's got 49 keys, so it's small enough to take with me. It's not bigger than my guitar. I could put in an old guitar case. Duh. Okay. Because I've been looking for a case, and it's like, no. Anyway, I applaud you for learning another instrument. It is not the most easiest, but I'm like you. I'm like, okay, fingers here, go what? What down is that? Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Do you have any pets, Miss Sierra?
I don't currently. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, and so I have decided that I was not going to do. Also, because prior to the pandemic, I like the roommate I used to have will tell you I'm never home. I was very much like, I have 2 jobs, and then I have shows, and then I have rehearsal, and so I was just like never around. And I was like, that doesn't seem very fair to, like, especially a dog, like, which I think I would want to have a dog more, but a cat would probably fit how I live my life better. I love cats, but just like, I had a dog growing up. And so that was kind of my thought. So as I moved into my own space, I was like, I'm going to give myself a minute. I don't know if I'm like quite ready yet for the like full on dedication of an animal. I love them. And I love that most of my friends have them, because then I'd be like, hey, let's like go hang out with your dog. They're kind of like kids. Like, I'm really glad other people have them. I'm like, yeah, they're so cute. And here you go.
Take it back.
Yeah, exactly. It started peeing on itself. Here you are.
It smells. Take it.
Yeah. Does it need a bath? I think that. Ooh, I gotta go. Like.
You're excellent. Okay, have you participated in any music competitions?
I have. I've a couple. When I was 18, the little town that I went to high school in had something called North Shore's Got Talent, and I won. So I got to sing like the first place spot for the 4th of July event, because it wasn't the parade; it was like the big park thing afterward. And then I was supposed to be the person that sang the national anthem before opening the parade the following year, but I had already moved to New York City, so I had to like let somebody else do that. And
Congratulations and
yeah, I mean, also like, and then I have tried out for American Idol twice. That went nowhere, which is fine. I don't need to sell my soul to that devil.
But
And
you went. That is the number one thing. You went. You stepped out. Continue.
Yeah. And let me think about anything else. I think that most of the other stuff I've ever like done is like, I would call it an audition and not a contest. It's like for, university or for a record label or for whatever. Like, so not a ton of music contests, but a couple of them, and I did win the first one, so that was fun. I think like right. Well, some of the things are like contests are fun, and I think that like they're definitely a good time, but sometimes the whole like popularity element of it is it's a frustrating thing to watch, and then to have it like put back on you, you're like, okay, I get it. There's nothing wrong with me, but also my ego.
It's real. Okay, wait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's not about me, but also yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and any musician or actor or thespian, anybody who does stuff where like other people's opinions are how you get employed, like I think we all have that similar feeling of like, okay, I know it's not about me always, but like, oh my god.
I call that going through the nose. Really, that's a no. Okay, swipe left.
Exactly.
Really? Okay, swipe left. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because eventually, the right one will come. Miss Sierra, would you grace us with a song?
Sure. This is one that I wrote in the last couple of months, and I've only performed it live one time. So hopefully, for most people, it's not a repeat of my previous discography.
Let me drop off. Wait a minute.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Let me go away. This is Miss Sierra.
Cool. So yeah, this is a song I wrote really recently, and I've only played it once live. So in theory, you guys shouldn't have heard this one before. It's called I'm Going To, and you get to decide how the word to is spelled. It's a beautiful thing about English. There's choices. Someday I'll break your heart, or you'll break mine. We'll be a blip in a memory, a grain of sand in a jar. But until then, remember you can hold me, love me, and let all your worries be. Dance in the dark from dusk till dawn, every hour in between. Nobody said love wasn't fraught with peril and danger ahead. One of us leaves or passes on. There's only two ways to end. But until then, remember you can hold me, love me, and let all your worries be. Dance in the dark from dusk till dawn, every hour in. Don't try to hide it, don't try to fight it. That's just a lie I see. Right through you and your insecurity. Someone's hurt you, and I'm going to hold you, love you, take all your worries too. Dance in the dark from dawn till dusk. Just give love a chance to change us. And until then, remember we can. And that's I'm going to.
Crowd goes wild.
Right. Fun part about live streaming, you're like, I'm my own audience.
And we've all gotten used to it. So it's like, yeah, me. That's beautiful. I was singing so when I'm learning a song, my brain starts whistling. Beautiful, beautiful
I
song.
love that. I should have you on when we record because I can't whistle that well. Like I can like holler for a dog and that's about where it ends.
I'm happy to whistle because I learned to whistle from my grandfather, so I would happily do that. Let me read Sierra's bio, okay? She is a singer-songwriter from Austin. That means she's a unicorn. Texas, born and bred, singing about anything, everything, and all of it in between. She's performed for unofficial South by Southwest showcases, rowdy crowds, and small bars, and released her EP after an awe-inspiring community fund effort. Full-length album coming out in 2021. By the end of it,
Hopefully, it might be early 2022. We'll see how the budget goes.
you do it as you do it. Sierra's Venmo was running earlier, so please do donations for her project because every little bit helps. I'm fun. Okay, so do you like to since you enjoy eating, do you like to eat before you perform or after you perform?
Oh, definitely after. I don't have a lot of stage fright, but I do have a small amount. And so sometimes when I eat, my body's like, you know what we should do? We should just like, let's not. So yeah, I always eat after. I'm very like I also am like a celebratory eater, which I have read. Apparently that's not whatever. People are like that's not a thing, and I'm like it wasn't my house. So
Wait a minute, what do you mean? Wait. Explain.
yeah, people are like, you shouldn't have like emotions associated with food. I'm like, well, it's the most addictive thing that you can
Are
put in
you
your
kidding?
body.
Who
Like,
said that?
I think people who lack a lot of joy, like I feel like that there's no way that you like get to that point and go, yeah, I don't find joy in like ice cream. Like, I'm sorry, maybe you need to go to therapy. Like,
Bruh, how could you dislike ice cream? Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
That's one. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, I'm very much a fan of like before I go to a show, I'm like a little I'm not gonna try and diss myself, but I'm definitely like I don't drink. I try not to have carbonated stuff, and if it is, it's lightly carbonated. I try not to eat a ton, so I have like a really high protein thing like within a few hours, but I'm not gonna like gorge myself and then get up on stage. Also, I have seen someone like eat, get up on stage, and then start singing, and then like they needed to brush their teeth. And that horrifies me that I would ever do that. So I'm like, nope, can't do it. But then like after the show, I'm like, I need a shot of Jameson. Let's go get fried chicken. Like, let's go get fries. Whatever is still open. Like, yeah. So I'm very much like a post-show celebrator of food and drink and all that sort of thing.
I'm generally starving. Not starving. I want to consume food after I eat. If I try to sing but eat before I sing, it usually makes me really, as does with you, nauseated or I'm phlegmy. So I don't do that part. So I'm and I don't drink at this time in my life because I like drinking. So I don't drink.
Yeah, I've gotten myself to the like I have a drink number limit, so it's like you can have 2 beverages per day. If it's a special occasion, you may have 3. Like very much like let's not go wild because like especially last year, I was like it's fine, right? Everyone's like yeah, it's chill, and then I started realizing no, that's actually nope, shouldn't do that.
It can, and plus it's anyway, all the things that it does to your body.
Right.
You are literally pickling your body is with alcohol. Mm-hmm. That's what it does. And it, for me, not good. But I digress. Let's move forward. Let me ask you about your creative process. You you produced your last album yourself, or did you go to a studio or
Yeah, I had
What you did.
assistants. I basically walked into the studio having written all the lyrics and anything that I could play, so all the guitar parts, and I had kind of a vision for how I wanted those songs to sound. But my producer, Kurt Lammers, if anybody needs a great producer, he's also part of the Austin FC, the Los Verdes, like the guys that beat all the drums and stuff at the games. He's one of those cool kids. So
Say his name again. Slow down. Say it again. Say his name again.
His name is Kurt Lammers. So
There you
Kurt,
go.
like Sound of Music, and then Lammers. He's a good friend of mine, but he's also like a really great producer. And so we went into a studio with a buddy of his who's a great engineer. And we basically would go in there and I would sing what I had already written, and then we would each of those pieces, and then we would kind of all collectively brainstorm from there. So there was a lot of like, hey, we think this kind of drum would work well. They would play it for me. And it was cool to have my first studio experience be very inclusive of my opinion, because I have a lot of artist friends who've talked about sometimes you go into a studio and the producer's like, I know best. And it's like, yes, you might know commercially best, but that's not my song. Kind of thing. There's a lot of like ownership over the music that we make, and there's a lot of, it's almost like not quite that, maybe not the same level as children or whatever, but it's very much like an ownership that's like, no, this came out of my body.
This is my baby, whatever.
Right.
My baby.
So it was great to be able to like have a lot of really awesome, different and really cool creative input that also was like, hey, if this isn't what you vibe with this song, it's not going to be like a problem. It's just like, hey, that's not my song. Can we do something more along these lines or whatever? So it was like good to have redirection and, still be like, yes, this is still the song that I wrote. So that was
extremely important that you have the forewithal to demand or be direct and say mine.
Yeah. Well, and my thought too is like, I had so many musician friends be like, oh yeah, I paid X number of, tens of thousands of dollars to produce a full length EP. And then I just felt like I was fighting with the producer the whole time. I was like, no. Okay, that doesn't seem correct. Like you should have a producer and who should have, opinions about how things go. And you should hire somebody who like their vision makes sense with what you do. Simultaneously, like if you're just in a studio producing your own album and you're not contractually obligated to that person, like you are paying them at the end of the day.
Right.
In those scenarios, right? Like if you're not contractually obligated and they're not a producer who's making a product for like the studio and you are just, they're a hired gun by the hour, it's like, yeah, their opinion matters, but you are also paying them.
I'm paying you. Okay. Are you BMI or ASCAP or either or?
I don't think I know what that means.
Okay. So PROs, they make sure that you get paid for your royalties. So I'll do a link. I'll send you information later on.
It's like I know I'm on TuneCore, but I don't know the distinction between those two different camps.
Let me pull this up real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, you learn something new every single day.
I'm super nerdy, so I'm a member of BMI. I was a member of ASCAP. It's let's do ASCAP because it'll give you the definition. ASCAP says the most efficient and affordable way to secure music licensing for your businesses. The ASCAP is the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. So you can either be a member of ASCAP or a member of BMI. And BMI is also here now in Austin, Texas. Let me make sure I get to this publishing part here. Technology.
I love to see it.
Long as it works.
That's always a clarifier.
BMI.com is for creators and music users. Same thing. It's to make sure that you get your royalties from your music being played or used in a movie or whatever, or commercial, or let me put it right here for you. Okay. BMI.com.
Okay. I love it. I will look into that because I was like, I know that I have a distributor who looks at that stuff when it's like on whatever website and like, so like, you have your like 90 distribution sites, including like Facebook or whatever. So if somebody ever plays my music, then like they make sure that Facebook pays me. But I don't think it goes beyond those platforms. So
performance rights, while songwriters, composers, and music publishers. That's part of what BMI does. So if you're with TuneCore or CD Baby or one of those, this is what I learned last year. If you didn't go in there and tell them that you are the publisher, then they take their points per part as publisher, and then you get the rest of the publishing. So if you sign up with BMI or ASCAP, you can become your own publisher and skip them getting the hooty hoo, doing all the things. Okay.
Do you ever feel like we also have to have like business degrees and tax law degrees and like
I just had to filter. I was like, oh, television. Yes, because music is a business. And as my friend Bruce Nunnally says, yes, I could just sit in my room, play my guitar, and be happy. But I want to be financially compensated. You got to learn the business. You got to read. Oh, that's a good question. What are you reading music business wise right now towards your music degree? And then I'll tell you what I'm reading.
I kind of am always reading the my middle sibling got me a book that's like the producer's guide to musicianship, and so it's basically just like how does tax law interact with publishing and stuff like that, but it doesn't really get into the logistics of like how you should navigate it. It's just like how does this like pyramid work. But I'm also reading, and I think it's related although more adjacent, I'm reading this book called The Broke Millennial's Guide to Investing. And
that's wrong.
It's great, but it goes through like, what are index funds and like how do you build a portfolio and like why should you quote diversify it. I also appreciate that it goes through like what do all those terms mean, because again, I feel like if we want to make money as musicians, we kind of have to have like a master's in business, and we also have to understand taxes, and we have to understand, and we're also being creative and empathetic people like all along the way there. So learning
invoices. You gotta know what an invoice is. You need a banking account, for goodness sakes.
Yes. Yeah. You have to have your bank account. Like, do you need to be an LLC or an incorporated? And there's different kinds of corporations, and what are the benefits and drawbacks of those? Should you ever be looking to go public as a musician, like if you have a business entity, should you ever be working towards having an IPO or not? Because there are benefits to having an IPO, but there are also like, do you want your career trajectory to be determined by stockholders and your audience at large, right? So it's
that you must learn.
So many things. And it's funny because I think that part of me really wishes that someone would sign me to a record label just so that stuff was all taken care of by someone whose entire job is that. But I don't like want to relinquish all of that control. I just don't want to do all the work either.
My thought on that is learn it for yourself. And then when they come at you as a record label, you can go, oh no, I don't like that.
Right. But I still want to be like, hi, your entire job is to be an accountant. I get what you're supposed to do, but like, please let me pay you well and go live your life
and go do the thing. But I sign all my checks.
Mm-hmm.
You sign, let your accountant do all that, but you sign everything.
Yes, that you see it come across your desk. Like,
yes, that's my father in me. So this book I'm reading is called How to Make It in the New Music Industry, and it's by Ari Herstand. And he is brilliant, and he's very, very nerdy as a musician, but he's played more than, 20,000 shows and traveled the world and is on point with my knowledge of learning better to be a better independent artist. So that's my book. Let's get you to do one more song for us, Miss Sierra. Okay. And then I'm going to play a commercial right after that, okay?
Sounds good.
Here's Miss Sierra, y'all. I'm going to go away.
So this one, I just put out a music video a couple months for. So if you go to my YouTube page, again, it's just my name. Everything is just my name. And now I'm seeing my Venmo pop across. You can tip me if you want. This song I wrote when I was living in New York City. I was 20-ish, 20-something. And I lived in this delightful, beautiful Brooklyn apartment that was not actually houseable. And I had holes in the windows. And I very distinctly remember the weekend before Easter, staring out my window. It was snowing, but it was also snowing in my living room because of all these holes. They looked like snow piles. And being born and raised here, that didn't make any sense. My mom flew me home for Easter, and we landed, and she was like, "Hey, Sierra, I brought your swimsuit. We're going to go to Barton Springs," because it was like 90 degrees outside. And that is the exact moment that I knew I wasn't going to make it in New York. I couldn't handle it. So I wrote that song, or this song, about kind of that experience, and also about, everyone says that home isn't necessarily a place, but I'm going to have to disagree with them. Something should be said about New York in the fall. Got the leaves on fire in Central Park, and you can't match them at all until you've seen Paris in the height of her heat. Watch the sun shimmer on the sand. But if you need winter, just head for Colorado, and she's covered in white snow. Like God himself wanted it just so. And you'll find me in Austin come the springtime. We've all been praying for that rain. Saying home was somewhere else just wouldn't be the same. So give me blue bonnets and brisket and a sunset or two. Watch the violet crown going down over Lady Bird's crown jewel. Got a naked bicycle ride and a rodeo for you. Might hit 100 yet, some dive in Barton pool. 'Cause I love Austin in the springtime, and I love to dance in the rain. And saying home was somewhere else just wouldn't be the same. 'Cause I love Austin in the springtime, and I love to dance in the rain. And saying home was somewhere else just be mighty strange. Gotta make my kite for flying and get New York his presents too. Shake the dust off of my boots and go dancing with you. Grab a taco, greet the bats, and just hike on through. Show our city all your love, and she'll give it back to you. 'Cause I love Austin in the springtime, and I love to dance in the rain. And saying home was somewhere else just be mighty strange. 'Cause I love Austin anytime. It's not about the fame I'm gonna gain. No, you can like where you're from. I know that I'm proud too. I'm proud to be from Austin, Texas. 'Cause we love Austin anytime, and we love to dance in the rain. Now you can like where you're from. I know that I'm proud too. I'm proud to be from Austin, Texas. I'm proud to be from Austin, Texas. True and through. Catch me up.
Hey everybody, it's Heather Webb from the Jam Room. Here at the Jam Room, I teach instrument instruction, band classes, we do workshops on audio recording, video production, and even instrument repair. The most popular thing we do here at the Jam Room is the band classes. People sign up for their different instrument, their preferred instrument in different classes that are categorized by either the genre or a year or the artist, different things like that. And you learn 3 new songs. You have the support of an instructor, me, to help you out along the way. If you happen to be a beginner or not so experienced with your instrument yet, that's okay too, because we can tailor your part to fit your skill level. And you still get an experience of playing with the band. So you do 6 weeks of rehearsals. In that time, we also do a photo shoot. So you get a poster at the end of it with your band, and we do a big showcase. And the showcase is a big party where all the bands get to play the songs that they learned during the session and play for family and friends. And it's a whole lot of fun, and it's the most popular thing we do. So I always say that the Jam Room is a supportive space for adults to come together, socialize, learn about music, and rock out and conquer their fears. Yeah.
All right. Let's bring back Miss Sierra. Hi, friend.
Hello.
Nice. Good job. How we doing?
I think we're doing good. I just had a sip of water, so I'm good to go again.
Right on. Sure. Let me read you what we were talking about. What BMI does is, it says here, a global leader in music rights management. BMI serves as an advocate for the value of music, representing over 17 million musical works created and owned by more than 1.1 million songwriters, composers, and music publishers.
Cool.
And they are in representing songwriters in emerging genres like jazz, blues, country, and protect the public performances of their music. So ASCAP or BMI, either one of those, both work towards that, along that line. Except that their thing is in black. How do you feel about black on the internet? It always does something to my eyes. I don't know what.
I'm not a huge fan. I think it bothers me more on my phone, like the dark mode on your phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, turn that off. On the internet, I think it depends on like what it is. Cause like, I don't need my Facebook to be in dark mode, but like, I'm okay if like Twitter is. I don't know if it's just like the amount of text or something, but yeah, I'm not like, yeah, let me have that on all the time.
So in the Austin Music Television Channel 16 VIP room, Bobby says, I love Austin. Beyonce says, tell him boy bye. G says, G says, love Sierra. And Bobby says, Sierra is my favorite. So, hey, Bobby, who you?
I think I was like, I am assuming it's my friend Bobby. If you're some other person named Bobby who also loves me, I love you back.
That's the conversation happening in the chat room. So please tell your friends. Tell others if you have friends that want to be on the show. Let them know. There is this process that we go through that we do get them on eventually. 70-word bio, a picture, and your social media links, and we'll go from there. Send me your music. Let's go. So, Miss Sierra, see how the voices, they not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
What do you have planned for the upcoming, I guess the rest of this year is finishing your album?
finishing. Well, so I've finished writing all of it. Now we just get to do the fun part of like hiring musicians to do all the music, because I can only play so many instruments. And then Ham Day is coming up. That's probably the next like big.
Ham
I love
Day.
Ham Day. I'm a big soapbox preacher about ham. So
wait, keep talking about ham. Let me do the thing.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm always like, I'm on it. I love ham. So for anybody who's watching who maybe isn't in Austin or doesn't know what that is, it's called the Health Alliance for Austin Musicians. And it started back in 2005, I believe. And their goal is to keep Austin musicians insured and healthy. So not only making sure that like if you need assistance with the Affordable Care Act or if you need help with getting private insurance, additionally, if you like there's benefits for general wellness, like YMCA discounted memberships and those kinds of things. So like preventative overall wellness, as well as, catastrophic insurance, which I don't know of any other organization like it in the country. And I would really hope that I'm wrong, that there are more like that, but I don't actually know of one off the top of my head. And so
as far as I know, there's not.
Yeah. So like, maybe that should be also, if other musicians and other places are watching this, like if you want to help your community, that is like immensely helpful, because up until a year ago, I had never had health insurance on my own. So when I aged out of my mom's and then I was, out in the world by myself, if something had happened to me, like, and it had happened to my friends where like they had to go to the ER and like, thank God they had ham. Otherwise they would have had a whole different, post ER life. Cause like we live in the United States of America and that's a whole other conversation.
But don't get started. Yeah. Ham Day is September 14th, 2021. Is that a Saturday? Wednesday?
I think it's a Wednesday. Yeah.
I think it's a Wednesday.
And all the live streaming starts at 8 a.m., but there's like dozens upon dozens of acts. So you have like Jimmy Vaughn and Carolyn Wonderland. I'm playing it at 6 o'clock. And so a lot of us are doing like live streams from our homes. I'm doing one from a studio. And the entire effort is to say like, hey, maybe we can't be together in venues in some cases, but let's still like have a show, have a whole day of music, because prior to the pandemic, it was just like every venue in Austin was having a live show and, tickets went to ham instead of going to the venue. Right. So it's important. It's great. That's the thing I'm like the most excited about in the very near future. And then, the rest of the year is going to be rehearsing and recording for the most part.
I currently am using ham for the swimming. Oh, the swimming.
Yes, I know.
How beautiful. The pools are so nice. The people are so genuinely sweet. I haven't gone anywhere other than just into the swimming pool. Love it. Love it. And the insurance part, I finally have my own insurance as an adult because of ham. So I'm right there with you. Earplugs. That was my biggest thing I got from.
I haven't gotten those yet because
it's so cool. Because they custom fit them to your ear, so they could either be just regular ear protection, or they could have the in-ear devices added to them. I was like, this is worth the time, effort, and money. Thank you so much, Ham, for taking care of us musicians in the world.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I haven't gotten my earplugs yet because like I had the ability to get it the first year that I was like actually a member of ham. And then I was like, oh, I'll get to that. Like it's a lot of time, whatever. And then I just kept putting it off. And then I was like, sorry, we can't do this because of the pandemic. And I was like, oh, I goofed myself. I did that to myself.
They'll come back around with it. I'm certain. But if to the audience that's watching, you can see that there's a ham link right there if you choose to want to do. Bobby says, and Sierra is such a wonderful person and friend. I am grateful to know her.
Oh, so it is my friend Bobby. Hi, Bobby. I can't see your comment, but hi.
Lovely feels and all the good things.
Yay.
Let me bring this over here. Oh, good. That looks so cool. So you have two screens going, so I can see both.
Nice.
If you could open for anyone as an artist performing to be the opening act, who would you like to go open for? Or let's say three of them.
I was like, I can't one. I think Florence and the Machine would be like amazing. I mean, like Dream of Dreams, There's No Limit. Paul McCartney would be fantastic as well. I think he's
Ooh,
just like
yeah.
amazing. And then I don't know. Now I want to go through people that are deceased. I'm like, it would be amazing to open for, but let's not do that. I don't know. Otherwise, I mean, selfishly, I would also like to be the act. There's a part of like, yes, it'd be cool to open for someone, but also like one day I would like to be so up there on top of the world that everyone's like, man, I would love to open for her. That's the goal.
That is the goal. That is the dream of most artists. What, last weekend, I think, or the weekend before, I got the opportunity to go see Willie Nelson and Chris Stapleton, and there's another young man, and there was a young lady named Yolo that is country, and she's black. I was like, yes. Yes!
You're live.
I cried twice, and I was like, why am I crying? One, there was these two little ladies in front of me. They weren't little, just yelling and screaming at the top of their head, woohoo, going, this is the way it's supposed to be. And I was like, yep, sure is. Okay. Why am I crying? Because it was amazing. It was amazing. Just to be out in that again. I was like, yep, that's next time I come here, I'm gonna be on the stage and not in the audience.
Yeah. I did a live show like early May. I mean, it was hot as hell outside. Sorry if anybody's offended by that word. It was so hot outside, and I was doing a live show at Doc's Drive-In down in Buda. And they are the nicest people, by the way. In case nobody's been down there, they are the nicest humans. It's a drive-in theater. It's a great time.
Oh, how fun!
Yeah,
do they have movies? Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, they do movies. They have like a full restaurant. I'm just gonna plug Doc's Drive-In for a second because they're literally the nicest people ever. And I've also very infrequently had smaller venues reach out for booking and say, by the way, we do pay you, because usually smaller venues are like, oh no, we don't have a budget, which like.
I don't have gas.
Yeah, so they're just like the greatest, and they're just wonderful. So go, be a patron of Doc's Drive-In Theater. But I was playing before the movies, and it was very hot outside, and there wasn't even anybody really there, but it was just the being on stage with my guitar, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna cry. Like, I don't know if I can perform because I'm just like I was like, Sarah, you gotta get it together. Like, this isn't professional at all. But it's just like that's the thing. Like, performing for the camera is fine. Like, I can do it, but there's just
nice.
It doesn't have the magical sparkle in the air as like performing in front of another human, right? Like that's so I totally understand. And I felt very similar about watching I'm gonna blank on the name of the band right now, but it was again back in like May and June when we were all like, "Oh my god, yay! Everything isn't on fire.
We're outside."
We're like watching a band play, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is it! This is real!" And my friends were like, "Sarah, you gotta get it together."
Like, you don't understand. That little fraction of me is up there on that stage. I'm there. You don't understand. No. You know what? I'm going to add this to the question thing. Have you ever dated another musician? Have you ever?
Yeah. Almost exclusively. It's like probably my toxic trait in the world. I tend to date guitarists. So actually my current boyfriend is also a guitarist. And he's a singer as well. I think I've dated 2 people who were not musicians. Both of them were thespians. So I've never dated someone who wasn't performance inclined. I think it would be intimidating, or I don't think it would work well for me to like date somebody who doesn't know what that's like, because, and I even like explaining this to my mom is like a weird disconnect, like the disconnect of how great it feels to perform and like that. And I'm going to use this word in its like true definitive form, that ecstasy that you get from performing and like the universe and all the people coming together to like vibrate at the same time. Like that feeling doesn't exist anywhere else. So I couldn't imagine like being with someone who didn't get that, who I then think would be offended by how much I prioritize that in my life. So just
that is so beautiful the way you said that. It's perfect. Yes.
It's like something I've had to explain a lot to people because they're like, Sierra, you just like, this is all you focus on. I'm like, yeah, there's no other like thing in the world that does this. Like even like love between two people is wonderful and beautiful and amazing. And like people making humans amazing, wonderful, beautiful, but like it's not the same as like that feeling of like we're all connected and like moving together without meaning to.
That is okay. That's exactly correct. That's right. That's right. I've not dated another artist, and maybe I should, because I don't do well with civilians. They like me for a whole hot minute, and they're like, "Why are you doing so much of that music thing?" Because that's how you met me.
Yeah,
That's how
I
make
think
my
that there can
living.
be 50-50 too, because there's like, you know, there's the whole like Sonny and Cher competitive ego thing that you
Yeah.
can run into also. So I think it's like not only finding someone who like matches you ego wise, but then also doesn't put their professional ego into
It's
your
got to be a
relationship.
give and take. It's got to be balanced out. It's so much. I don't know. I think I've been single more than, I don't know. I don't remember. More than 5 years that I can remember. I've
Yeah.
just been focusing on school and me. So that is the best eloquently way to say that. So I love that answer. Okay, so we got a few minutes left. Best thing that some gem of knowledge that was given to you that you'd like to share with the general public.
I think this is going to sound really goofy. I had a voice teacher a few years ago who I was living in New York and she was my voice teacher. Well, she's still my voice teacher, just over Zoom now. But when I was living in New York, I was doing a lot of Broadway auditions. And that's another way to have your ego checked, is to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, go to an audition, walk into a room of like you, except they all graduated from Juilliard or NYU or wherever else. And they're wearing like the name designer brand of the dress that you are wearing from Target. And so really good way to have your ego checked. And I was like, Jan, I just don't, this is so stressful to like go into these rooms and I feel like I give them my best and I still don't get picked. And I don't know what, like, I don't know what the magic formula is. And she's like, Sierra, there's not a magic formula. Sometimes they're going to say no for reasons that have nothing to do with you. And so you should never take a no as an indication of like your worth as a person. And then she's like, I'm going to also give you like a little life hack lesson here. Almost no one's behavior has to do with you. Most people's behavior has to do with them. And like, that's a really easy thing to like, I'm going to say that. No, people's behavior has nothing to do with you. Most of the time. If you're being a butt, then it is your fault. But but it's a really hard thing to like practice in your life. You know, like people say or do hurtful things. Like it's not actually always a reflection of how you have treated them or how you behave or how you think about your world. Most of the time, like 95% of it has to do with something that they are doing and how they think about things. So, you know, some nuance within don't be mean to people and then expect them to be nice to you, but also don't let people being mean to you make you feel like you did something wrong.
Right.
That was like, I'm still learning that all the time. I'm still trying to actively practice that, but it helped me a lot, especially as a musician, to go into audition rooms and be like, I did the thing. And then they're like, not it. And I was like, I'll have a good time. You know, I didn't maybe like hold on to that and be like, I suck. It's like, you know, not to toot my own horn. I don't. And so like, I don't need to walk around the world being like, well, American Idol didn't want me out of 80,000 people that auditioned. I must be terrible. It's like, no, there were 80,000 people.
No, there.
Yeah.
You are. That's beautiful gem knowledge. Your I'm gonna call him professor. Shared with you. That's beautiful. That's correct.
Yeah.
I call it getting through the nose. You don't want me? Next swipe. You don't want me? Okay, next swipe. You don't want me? Swipe up. Next. Okay, swipe.
Yeah.
Don't have time for that. I know my value and my worth. That's why. I know the next 6 months things are going to be extremely wonderfully changed for me. Thank you, Miss Sierra, for so much for being here. Do you want to plug your next show coming up real quick?
Yeah, so September, that's what month it is. September the 14th, we're going to be streaming, I'm going to be streaming live from Facebook. Ham will be streaming live all day long. So, you can watch 20, 30, 40 shows, whatever amount of time you have in the day. And if you follow me on social media, I am very religious about updating my other performances. So if you want to look into October and November, I will post those. Also, Sonia, you're our delight. Thank you very much for having me on.
Oh, thank you, beautiful. Appreciate you. This is Miss Sierra. Hello, my name's Sonia Javette. We're going to end the show now. Thank y'all so much for being here. We'll see you next time. Same bat channel, same bat time. And we are out. Yeah, I'm pushing the button.